Hey everyone, welcome to My Life Possible. My name's Connor Harrison. Thank you for joining me this week. Tosh, get out of my face. This week, I wanted to tell you guys a funny story that's happened this summer. It's been a crazy, fun summer. I've done a lot of fun things, crazy nights. It's also been dramatic and crazy and whatnot. So I'm gonna tell you guys a story about when I broke into a house. Yeah, broke into a house. Okay, so this night started with my friend, I'm gonna call Jacob, and Jacob and I often like to go out downtown. Oftentimes I just go over to Jacob's house, we pregame, and then we go from there and we order an Uber to be safe, and then we go downtown and we just have a blast. And usually we are with some of his old coworkers, just a bunch of straight guys that like to go to the bar and hit up on ladies. We keep each other going the whole night, so that becomes important as we kind of move down the story. So after we pre-gamed at Jacob's house, we get in a car, and there's too many of us in the car, so I end up laying in the back seat. Mom, don't judge. I know it wasn't safe, and I won't do it again. Everyone's kind of like complaining about me laying across them, but they're the ones who told me not to order another Uber or whatever. So all of Jacob's friends wanted to like go to one place, but then because one of their exes was gonna be there, we ended up splitting. And so Jacob and I went to this bar called Cheers to You, and they have $3 Mind Erasers that taste like root beer. And they honestly, like, you have 3 of them and it's like 9 shots, I think, or something like that. Like, they're crazy. They're also really good, and they're also really cheap. Then we continue on to our regular bars, and we end up at a bar called Gracies. And also one of my other friends from up north here in Utah was with us. All right, so thank you to my roommate for making me an amazing drink, as always. In this week's drink, there is Smirnoff, vodka, Malibu, and margarita mix, and it's really good. It kind of tastes like this one drink from the gas station, but I can't like name what the drink is. Now that I have a drink in hand, let's get to the hard-hitting part of the story. After the bar, we end up walking outside, and literally like right outside the exit, there is this guy with an old VW van. So this guy's like standing outside in front of his van, and Jacob says something to him, and we kind of start talking, and then he's, you know, like how it goes, you know, like, what's up, bro, blah, 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 nice, cool van. He's like, yeah, I just bought it. And we're like, oh, cool, what are you doing here? And he was like, oh, I'm trying to pick up chicks. And we're talking to him, and we ask for a ride home, and he's like, yeah, sure, no problem. Granted, it's a group of dudes, and we end up getting a ride back to Jacob's house in the VW van, and he's not an Uber driver. An old VW van does not qualify for an Uber. So shout out to Sean Ward, thank you for driving us home and getting us home safe. We honestly don't super remember the ride, but hey, thanks, I gave you 10 bucks, so hopefully that covered gas. Get home to Jacob's house, and we go inside. My friend from up north literally is running to the bathroom, and he says that he has the liquor shits. He literally gets to the bathroom, closes the door. I don't even want to tell you the details of it, other than I was like, hey, are you coming back out with us? And I open the door, and he's literally just like, oh my gosh, this is so bad. Like, no, there's no way that I'm leaving this. Eyes closed, felt so bad for him. So Jacob and I are like, dude, we're going to the after party that we got invited to. We show up at this house, and it's like pitch black. And so we're like, okay, that's really weird. We got invited here, we have the address. Like, Jacob knew him. So we get there, and like, we're like, okay, that's weird. Maybe they're playing a joke on us. So we're like walking around the house and checking doors to see if we can get in. We're on the back side of the house, and this is like on the hill, the Capitol Hill side. And Jacob opens one door, and then all of a sudden the alarm goes off. And we freak out, and I'm like, Jacob, is that the alarm? And he's like, yeah, run. So we ran, and we're running along the hill, hiding under like bushes, and we're like waiting for the cops to be called, because like in movies when the alarms go off, it seems like cops are like instantly there. My heart was pounding, I was like, what do we do, what do we do, what do we do? And like, there's a steep hill down, and that's like our only way we can go. We are going down this hill, and even sober, I don't think a person could walk down this hill and not fall. So we basically just fell the whole way. We end up at the street below in someone's front lawn trying to like be discreet about what's going on. I end up crying, I think, to Jacob because I had just broken up with my ex, and so like I was on the front lawn hysterical, and I was like, I'm so glad that we're doing this tonight. Like, you're such a really good friend, but I just like don't want this night to end. Like, I need this night and I just don't want it over. At this point, it's probably 3 in the morning. We order an Uber. We're kind of like disappointed that the night is ending, and our Uber driver's like, oh, where are you going? And we're like, well, we don't want to go home, but we don't like know where else to go. And he was like, well, what about Southern Exposure? Southern Exposure, yes. Strip bar. And yes, it is full nudity. So we end up at the strip bar that night. I never cared to go to those again. It was so awkward. I feel like it was crazy. Met 2 of the chicks that were stripping. So we were just like talking to the strippers, and the one stripper was like, oh my gosh, I just want a burrito. Last girl that was there before we left, she was like, honestly, I'm just like so tired. And she's like laying on a pole telling us this. That was my first experience at the strip club. That was also my first experience seeing things that I don't want to see. And because of that, I'm gonna drink right now. Yeah. So you guys now think that I broke into a house. I just want to clarify, we technically had the correct address, but it was for a party that happened the weekend before. Jacob was so drunk that he read the wrong note that he had saved in his phone. It was Jacob's friend's house, and we did tell him that we opened the back door and set off his alarm, so we did our due diligence. Should we have opened it? Probably not have. Anyway, that is my story today. I hope you guys liked it. If you guys want more stories like this or just any other stories in my life, please click the thumbs up. Also, please follow all my links in the down bar below to follow me on social media. And be sure to check out my blog at mylifepossible.com. I've also been doing Tumblr and Vine, so I would appreciate if you guys check that out. My Vines are really fun. My roommate Lacey helps me with them. We find fun lyrics and then just shoot like stupid videos to them. As always, in the meantime, keep it real.